Um, the last, sorry. So community maps, it's something that we as a community, exactly, with identity, that are complex concepts and complex in anthropology and social science. Appearing.
Maybe it's charging.
So this is the known or established origin in the 80s of what called today community maps. It came from Paris maps. So that's why Paris is a name also. And it was from an English or British association called Common Ground. But really in Italy, the movement of eco-museums and community maps has emerged and flourished much farther than in England or Spanish. We have always talked about these community maps brought to us from Marina Marengo. It's a professor in Genova. And we have always seen her insights on community maps, on the techniques or the process to do it, the consultation, what an anthropologist would say more like an ethnographic process with in-depth interviews, focus groups, or spontaneous discussion groups, because the anthropologists take the information in formal environments, but mostly and mainly from informal environments. Even having here in a park can give you more useful information than with a journal register. That's why we say that the cameras always give some, or take out some naturality and spontaneity and truthness of the habitants, and the active participation of habitants. So I would say there are like two dimensions or two processes. One is to interview individually the persons that will tell their story with the less bias possible, so very at ease in their homes, for example, in a place where they are very at ease. And after you have these stories compiled, you can just try to reach a consensus from one, or to put some fragments of some interview and some other to show what you want to show in the community. Now, there is a good idea, it is a good idea to do thematic community maps, like, for example, like in a celebration, like the flowers festivity, or the water, or the meals. This is good. But my process was simply to ask to the people during your life, in your childhood, for example, what were the important places for you in the village? During other stages of your life, where you were married, or when you were a young adolescent or youth, what were the places and your relationship with them, and your recorridos, how you walk from one place to other, how did you do it?
Patterns.
Yes. So in these maps, what we find, for example, is tales, legends. You can see better. They are in Italian, but maybe with some words in dialect. Uh, but they refer not so to fragments of interviews, but a story, a tale that has been written down with this information, with these interviews. Um, so we lose a little bit this, what we have with the Gerardo work, the immediacy of the word, of the spoken word, that is very nice to hear it, to listen to it. You know. But we have things that we wouldn't find in a Turing's conventional map. This is what I think is important. A community map has to have other things that has the tourist map. Of course, if there is a tourist map made of that village, so we don't want to repeat what is in the tourist map, but if there are places that, of course, are interested by tourists, but are also very important for people, and they are speaking, they were the place, they should go in both maps. But with different stories, with different interpretations. So now we have access to other community maps. This is from the region of Puglia, and we can see how they do. They have to do with drawing the map, painting even the map. So this is an artistic process and communitarian process. But still, they just put some people or some places with little legends. Maybe they are hyperlinked with other pictures, other stories that extend a bit. This is another example, Serre di Neviano. So they have focus in some animals that, of course, they are also important for people. So, but they are not so related to some concrete places, no? Unless there is a story, like in this, we have here a wolf or the gallo, the cock, no? So it's important that because they are linked with some stone or whatever. Our process is to do the interview, transcribe the interview, a lot of work, and then select the words or the phrases that are from that interview from one informant or another informant. So we can speak of a place. Here is the place. It's a little bit, but you can see it's municipality, Todorgat, the place, for example, the square, main square, or a fountain, the old fountain, the new fountain, the mill, yes, the mill, not mill, postal. What's the name for postal? The well. The church, the dance place, the dancing place, or maybe a bar or a cafe. They are also important places in the life of people. So there are the places. The stories are fragments of interviews from one informant, but the informants, 2, 3, 4, 5, as many as possible, to build a collective tale, story, but not a consensual collective story, because you are taking this from individual interviews. So maybe what you find also is conflict between one person and another, or very different ways of living one place. Okay, for example, we find a lot of gender issues. When the women go for water to the fountain, maybe the men were there, but just to chat, to do practical jokes for the women and all this. So this is what is a little bit different in, we would say, in an anthropological or ethnographical process than those that we see curated by people that probably can be anthropologists, but maybe not, and they are looking for some consensus in the. Okay, so for example, you've been here, the ones that have been in Extremadura. We see this is an important place now, touristically speaking, because it has been declared what we call bien de interés cultural. It's an intercultural cultural interest asset. So I think this is a virtual reconstruction. They are doing also this virtual at least photogrammetries. But we have a lot of stories of this place because it was very visited and very lived by many people in town. And there are very fantastic stories of this place because there were people who didn't know how to read and received a letter. They joined with another neighbor, please read me the letter. We have all this in the interview, so it's very, very nice. We find a lot of interest. So here in yellow is the selection of these paragraphs that we found in the database. So normally we can take like a little percentage of the interview. But it's like when you make a movie, you record hours and hours and hours of movie just to use a little part, okay, or a documentary. So registration, transcription, selections, and it has to be a balance between safeguarding the local and personal nuances, but also being synthetical. You cannot express all the, how they do. And of course, the translation, we know traduttore, traditore, we know that it's very difficult to keep these nuances, local nuances, when you translate into English, for example, in other languages. These are some of the translation of the text, of the paragraphs. They used to play football, the men, the kids, but it was a place where they bring food for the pigs. It was the corralas. It's a place where the pigs were kept. Yeah. So many people went there because they have pigs and they bring the food every day, food, the rest of the food to them. But he's speaking about this, the letters of the migrants, the people, the familiars, that the parents. So we have this in community maps, the ethnographical dimension that shows the community expressions, but also we want to build it with a tourist interest, and this has to do with the output that we were speaking with Marco before in this village, in these streets, where little stories of non-important people can be also very attractive for tourists. So we can use them also as a tourist value. And other uses of social geography, as we say, with the trees. We have seen very nice examples of tree maps of New York, for example, where each tree is classified, is identified, and it's valued in the terms of energy saving, because they save energy from the air cool, because they cool the air, and the oxygen they clean, so pollution saving. This other application that we've seen also here with our colleagues, from Paulo, and there are a lot of examples, categories, mutual aid, human rights protection, crisis response. These are all examples also of possible community maps. We can say that they are also community maps. Like for example in Madrid, this is a name, Aceras de Mierda. It's like city streets where the place for the people to walk are bad. So people give examples, but we get also water maps and we can sensorize the flows of the maps to this like a more technological advanced step to know where there are losses or illegal uses or overuse of water. So it's not very difficult. You just put a sensor for a meter, no? A water meter here and a water meter there and 2 or 3 more, and you will have, won't know what is happening inside, but you know there are bruises or there are something like this. And well, there are more examples I've shown in other chats, but not more for today. But we will keep working in community maps, and there is something that we can really offer as an idea to our learning villages and help to think about how to do it and what kind of community maps are interesting here or there. I think 3 maps is interesting for everybody. Like the New York example that says how much this tree in dollars is saving to the community. That is very interesting. And it's a very educative education analysis. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's a good.